What is up, wrestling fans? Welcome to an unfortunate extra video here for the YouTube channel. It's not really a Smark Out Moment Smack Talk podcast. It's not going on the podcast feeds. This is just for YouTube. I mentioned this on the Mega Maniacs already, but this is a channel update. And in typical fashion, a channel update is not necessarily always good news, and this is not one of them. In fact, this is bad news, and I figured I would fill everybody in on it a little bit more. If you checked out the Mega Maniacs Facebook group, you know a little bit about it, but I'll just dive a little bit deeper into it. The YouTube channel is no longer monetized. Now, I don't know if this has anything to do with that stupid COPPA shit, or if it has something to do with anything else, but the entire channel is now no longer monetized, and I don't know if it'll ever actually be able to be monetized again, because YouTube is notoriously awful in a million ways when it comes to not telling you all the information you need to know, not giving you a resource to be able to look into it, not having a human being that you can talk to, unless, of course, you're super rich and famous and you can afford that kind of stuff. And fortunately, the smaller channels like myself just, we don't matter. The ants don't matter. It's only the big ones. So yeah, channel's not monetized. And I got this out of the nowhere. It's just a random email. Just said that the super chat was disabled. And I thought to myself, well, why are they disabling the super chat? And then I got another email immediately after that saying, your channel is no longer monetized. This hasn't happened yet to Fanboys Anonymous. I'm hoping that it doesn't happen to that as well, because that's just ridiculous if it does. But Smark Out Moment is the one that makes more money anyway. It gets more hits, it's got more subscribers, that kind of stuff, and it sucks. To lay things all out, the YouTube channel doesn't make a whole lot of money. And by a whole lot of money, I mean basically nothing. I've got between the fanboy stuff and the Smark stuff, and I don't even get $100 a month. So that goes to show you just how little the monetization on YouTube is. However, there's always that idea that you never know if something's going to hit, I mean, something can get thousands and thousands of views and make lots of money, and the channel can take off, and then there you go. I mean, there's plenty of instances where people have I came across a Sonic the Hedgehog channel the other day, and the guy was talking about Sonic and Knuckles, and he said that his channel went from, a couple thousand subscribers and a couple hundred views here and there to thousands upon thousands of upgrades and stuff. And when those things happen, you can make a lot more money. And I used to be making a lot more money on these YouTube channels before they switched a whole bunch of things around. I started this channel in 2012, I think it was, and I was making enough money that, I could maybe make, it sounds kind of stupid, but maybe make $50 a month on the YouTube channel just for Smark Out Moment alone. Maybe another 25 to 50 on Fanboys, or, it was all around that. And then it became that they switched a bunch of algorithm stuff around, and then no longer do you get advertised unless you're somebody who's tapping into that stupid shit that they want to tap into and whatever, and everything goes down, and then suddenly it becomes pennies. And if I would have been, look, if I would have been a sensible businessman, Smark Out Moment, Fanboys Anonymous, that stuff wouldn't exist. It doesn't make enough money to justify the amount of time and effort that I put into it. I mean, realistically, any business person would tell me that. And I know that that's the case. But, it's something that I'm passionate about. It's something that I feel has some kind of contribution to be put out there, and I want to put that out there. I want to contribute. Admittedly, Fanboys Anonymous, for instance, has fallen completely away from what my intentions were for that, and then it just becomes a dumping ground for my movie reviews and stuff like that. But I don't even get a chance to do the movie reviews as much as I want. I don't get a chance to do deep dives on things and stuff. So Fanboys is not even a 50th of what I would want that product to be. Smark Out Moment, it's a little bit more than that. I mean, I do dedicate more time and effort into that. We do have a better team part of this. All the other kind of things that go along with that. But let's be honest, if you were a businessman and you were looking at the way that things work out with like this YouTube channel, for instance, you'd say, well, it's not profitable and it's a lot of time and a lot of effort, and you abandon ship after a while. The monetization stuff is something that's almost more of just like I don't know really what the proper analogy would be, but it's just like dangling a carrot, I guess. Maybe that's a good way to put it. Where, yeah, it's not making much of anything at all, certainly not for the amount of time and effort that I put into it, but there's a chance it could. And when you take away the chance, that basically is a huge blow. Now, one of the problems with this is I don't know exactly why the monetization was shut down. When I click on it, it says that it's shut down for sexually gratifying content. And the explanation that they give is content containing sexual themes or content isolated for the purpose of sexual gratification. So they essentially thought there were enough videos on this channel, what they qualify as a significant portion of my channel is not in line with the monetization policies. Uh, a significant portion of sexually gratifying content, I would assume, points towards the Sexiest Superstars tournament. And that's one of the reasons why this is the titled Channel Update End of an Era. We had talked about this idea before, towards the end of the year, about maybe not necessarily focusing as much on the Sexiest Superstars tournament this year. And maybe what we would do is, instead of doing 2 videos a week for each week of each round, donating to, dedicated, I should say, not donating, dedicated to the male side and the female side, and having fun breaking down things the way that we've been breaking it down for these past bunch of years. Maybe what we would do is we would just do one video at the beginning of the tournament and then one video at the end of the tournament. And that way we could focus on some other things, and we would just not necessarily feel as scuzzy anymore, because we're kind of feeling a little like, maybe this isn't the right thing to do anymore. It is kind of like shitty to make fun of people and to do that kind of thing. Well, now we have no choice, really. If I am lucky with this scenario, it seems no matter what, this channel can't be monetized for an entire month. I don't know why they put that month-long delay on things, because I think that that's absolutely absurd. If you are the type of person who you have some kind of policy issues, and there are plenty of people, I'm sure, that don't have issues, but they get flagged for stupid things, because YouTube, they flag you for stupid things all the time. They pay attention to these weird, different kind of filters, and I mean, let's be honest. The Sexy Superstars tournament, yeah, it's got like the thumbnails have some people in bikinis and stuff like that, and we are talking about the idea of like, oh, if I was slept with this person and that kind of thing, then yeah, I can understand if they would constitute that sexually gratifying content. I'm not going to argue that issue. I do think that the idea that it says content isolated for the purpose of sexual gratification, I hope nobody's whacking it to my videos, you know what I mean? But I can understand that there's a little bit of a controversial element to it, and that they're very, very, very uh, strict and, I guess, face value appreciation of what this content is. They would just go, yep, sexually gratifying content. It's got a picture of a girl and she's got cleavage, so let's just get rid of it. I can understand it. I still think it's bullshit, but I understand. So what has to happen, I'm assuming, is all of those videos have to be deleted. And that sucks, because that not only means that all of those videos are gone from just not having the videos up there, and I can't recreate them and have them be on the same time frame. And not only would I not recreate them and have them be out of date, but I wouldn't recreate them and have the channel get taken down or anything like that. But it's also just, yeah, I lose all those graphics. I put in all that time and effort into that kind of stuff. All the possible people that could have found the channel through that, which that's why the channel ended up being as big as it was. The Sexy Superstars tournament that I originally put up on the channel in 2012, that's what grew the channel. And that for a while was the thing that made the channel get spread around, and that was the thing that, would hook people, and I'm sure plenty of the people that are listening right now to this channel update came aboard from looking through the Sexy Superstars tournament. So that sucks, and that's a shame, and basically, if I get rid of those videos, I can't get them back up, and they're just gone forever. They're never gonna be put back up on there, and I lose the watch hours, I lose the views, all the things that go along with that. So that sucks. And then another element to that, though, is with the tournament videos being gone, they're not even like privatized, they're not anything like that. Um, if they are gone forever, all the stuff that's up on the pages on smarkoutmoment.com running into the same issues as what some of the other things happen. YouTube, every once in a while, I get these stupid little flags where it's like, oh, we can't monetize your page because your page has got sexual content on it, and it's a picture of like, I don't know, Tori Wilson in a bikini. And I'm like, oh, come on. And I have to take that down. And that's why if you look through a lot of the other different videos, not videos, the different posts that are up on the website, you'll see a lot of dead links to images. And that's because they just decided, well, we don't want to do that. That's too sexual, whatever like that. It's insane, I think, that it's 2020 and we're at a point where somebody in a bikini is like, that's too sexual and we can't do anything about that because we can't advertise around that. Yet violence is still, it's that whole thing with like the MPAA, you show a pair of boobs, you can't be PG-13. People get shot a million times in a movie and they die and there's blood all over the place and stuff. Well, as long as it's not too graphic, PG-13. It's so dumb. That's another argument for another day, but yeah, so all the pages up on the website, they're going to have broken links all over the place, and that's hundreds of pages worth of tons and tons of links, and I don't know, honestly, if I'm ever going to get around to updating those in any fashion because I don't have the time. So that's going to make that stuff look bad, and I apologize for that, and if I have the time at any point to be able to go in and fix those up a little bit, then I'm going to try, but that sucks. And then at least on the positive side of things here, you can still find the content to a certain extent. You'll never be able to find, if I delete these videos, you'll never find the video portions of these again. I do have backups of videos that are in 720 form instead of 1080, but not the thumbnails and not all the YouTube descriptions and all the other things that go along with that. Not that that would really matter in the grand scheme of things either. Like, I don't think that anybody that would be interested in checking out those videos really cares about the, like, the descriptions of things, or that the thumbnail looks better and all that kind of stuff that goes along with that. But you can still find the content of the podcasts because they are still going to be on the podcast feeds. Right now, there's nothing that's saying that I can't have the Sexiest Superstars tournament podcasts up on, say, the Google Podcasts feed, or on Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, or Stitcher, or anything like that. So if you are interested in the actual content itself for those particular rounds, for those particular tournaments, you got to find them on the podcast feeds. They're gone from YouTube forever, and I haven't deleted them as of yet, but I kind of just can't see any way that they will reconstitute the monetization without me doing that, and that sucks. So I probably will just delete them right after I'm recording this, and that's just going to be the end of that. But yeah, you still can find them on the podcast feeds, and going forward, if I'm lucky enough that in a month, which is ridiculous, if I'm able to get this monetized again, then we're going to go back to normal, and it's going to be that the only thing different is you won't see the Sexiest Superstars tournament on here. Or maybe if you do, maybe it'll just be one video or something like that, and maybe I'll have to label it differently or something. I don't really know how I'm going to go about doing that. But that doesn't stop me from doing that on Patreon. And I know that I've been really harping on Patreon a lot lately, and that's for situations like this. Again, the YouTube channel does not make enough money for me to continue to doing things. But if Patreon is there and if the supporters show up and everything, that makes a big difference. And I've said this before many, many times. If every person who was subscribed to just the Smark Out Moment YouTube channel, not even including Fanboys Anonymous, and I know that there's some crossover too. Some people are subscribed to both, and I really, really appreciate that. Especially if you're not even like a big fan of Fanboys and you just subscribe anyway to help, it's still awesome. But if everybody who was subscribed to the YouTube channel for Smark Out Moment donated $1 a month for the Patreon, so it's only $12 a year plus I guess it's like a little bit of tax or something like that. So let's just round up and say it's like $15 a year. That would be enough. I mean, you multiply right now we're at over 4,000 subscribers, which is like garbage compared to a lot of YouTube channels that's out there, but hey, that's my life. Uh if that was 4,000 subscribers times $1 each month, and it's 12 months in a year, you figure that's 4,000 times 12. That's a lot of money. That is a full-time job. And that would be the type of thing where I would be able to do so much more for the website, for the YouTube channel, for Fanboys Anonymous even too, because there would be some spillover there. I'm not going to pull a Vince McMahon here and say the XFL and the WWE are completely separate. No, Fanboys Anonymous is totally tied into Smark Out Moment. If one succeeds, the other one's going to succeed a little bit more too, that kind of a thing. So I always say that, and I always say the idea that if everybody's just donated $1, then, that'd be $4,000 a month that I would get to be able to do this kind of stuff. And I wouldn't work on a lot of the freelance stuff. And you'd be getting obviously more than 2 podcasts a week. You'd be getting more people involved. You'd be getting better graphics. You'd be getting video content instead of just the podcast side of things. All the other things that go along with that. But so this is where I'm kind of bouncing around here because, to be perfectly honest, I'm frustrated, I'm angry, I'm sad, feeling like a failure, all the things that go along with that, and losing track of the things that I wanted to talk about. But yeah, so when it comes to Patreon, everybody who has and currently does still donate, you have no idea how much it's appreciated because that really has helped the channel continue. I mean, this lack of money on the YouTube front was very much the type of thing that made me think maybe I just won't do it anymore. And getting people like, for instance, Guest Five and Deadshot and Michael and Chris and Kyle and Rob and like all these other people that you're a part of this Patreon and all that. That goes a long, long way. And that really is not only just like a motivator and a booster for morale, but it's also something that, let's be honest, it helps keep the lights on the monetary side of things. Like I always say, it's the type of thing that I go, well, that's not preventing me from having to do more work elsewhere and stuff. So anybody who doesn't donate, I get it. I mean, money is tight for everybody out there and stuff, but I do, as much as I hate the idea of like, oh, begging for money kind of a thing, I do really think that if you get enough value out of this channel that you think it's worth $1 a month, the more people that do that, you really have no idea how much that actually does change things. And uh, I'd say just consider donating. But it also means too that I am going to put even more focus on Patreon. And I currently have the dark casts. Those are Patreon exclusive. There's little bonus things. And I actually was talking earlier today before this whole YouTube thing happened. I was talking about the idea of what are some dark cast things that we can do. Maybe we'll do kind of like a live discussion, not really live because it's going to be uploaded later, but like maybe like Rob and Callum and I will get on and we'll have a big discussion of trying to figure out the bracket for the Smark Madness tournament. Or maybe we'll do a SmackDown and 205 Live post show or something like that. Try to get more Darkcast stuff out there so that way the people that donate at least $10 or more a month, they get more bang for their buck. And that also means if Patreon exclusive stuff is a thing, guess where I could potentially do the Sexy Superstars tournament? On Patreon, because that is a way that they're not going to tell me not to do it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where we're at. Another thing to be aware of is if I delete this whole set of videos, I think it's like 102 videos or so that I would have to delete. That's going to screw up the watch time and all that. So I don't know if that's going to completely kill the channel either. And a way to help with that is this. I'm sure if YouTube finds out that I'm saying this, I'm sure they're going to just be like, "Oh, you're gaming the system." If you want to help out the YouTube analytics with the watch hours, put on the Smark Out Moment channel, mute the stream if you want, or mute your computer or whatever it is, and just leave it running on the playlists and stuff like that. You just leave it running in the background. You're asleep and you just put it on or something like that. That actually help a lot. That boosts the channel's notoriety and everything like that. So I might actually have a call for help when it comes to that later on. If I delete all these videos and the watch time goes down and the watch hours are not enough, it might end up having to be one of those things that I need more people to do that with or something, just to kind of game the system a little bit. But Patreon is a big thing. I'm hoping that a month from now, after this stupid thing is over with, that I can get this remonetized. And if it doesn't, then Patreon will be literally the only way that I can make any kind of profit or just some of the money back from my time and all that stuff for the Smark Out Moment stuff. Because I don't get any money on the podcast feeds. There's no ability to monetize that. And I'm not getting sponsors and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Threefold, just to go back over the whole thing all over again. Channels demonetized for at least a month, if not longer, if not permanent. Point number 2, all the Sexiest Superstars tournament videos will be gone forever, and they're not coming back in any form, most likely. But if they are coming back in any form, they're going to be posted on the Patreon only, and you can still find the content on the podcast feeds if you want to listen to our discussions about Callum really being into Drew McIntyre or me advocating for Alexa Bliss to get to the very end of every single tournament. And point number 3, the Patreon itself and the watch hours being, if everybody who watches this channel and thinks that it's worth $1 a month is willing to do it, then that Patreon can make all the difference in the world. $5 a month, even better. $10 a month, you get the Dark Cast tier, all the other kind of things that go along with that. It's patreon.com/smarkoutmoment. And then eventually when we need it, then call to arms when it comes to the watch hours or something. That's what's happening. It sucks. And I don't know what you're going to do. Wanted to give you guys an update. It is the end of an era. No more Sexy Superstars tournament, at least on this channel. Potentially no more monetization on this channel. Potentially one of those slugs in the leg as far as no more channel. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for listening to this, everybody. Thank you for all of your support, whether it's just liking the video, watching everything, clicking on stuff, donating to the Patreon, hitting up the merch shops, all the other stuff like that, or leaving a comment. So even the comments, they help out because they help out with the algorithm and stuff. But whatever it is, thank you, and I'll keep you guys posted next time you're going to hear from us, unless this channel's friggin' taken down or something like that, in which case you're not able to listen to this anyway. Next time you're going to hear from us is going to be the TakeOver Portland predictions. Hopefully that'll be tomorrow. Hopefully I won't be as salty, and hopefully something positive will come about, and I'll be able to give you guys a proper update on the good side of things, but I'm not really expecting that, to be honest. So yeah, that's it. Again, this has been another Smark Out Moment. I'm not going to bother with that. I'll see you guys. Adios.